Welcome back, guys. Today things get really interesting as we look at fetching NFTs using our connected wallet. Now last time we got the user to connect their wallet via the desktop, and sure enough it worked. I've only added one little change. I'm actually debugging to show the connected wallet now, so that when we test it, you guys should be able to see what account is currently connected, which is great. That's what we want. We'll be setting up a new scene and just kind of iterating through the wallet and seeing what kind of NFTs there are, and we'll see if we can actually download it and display it within Unity. So let's get started. I mean, I've got Unity open here. I've got the unconnected scene, which I have modified a little bit. We now have text mesh pro, so text mesh for an NFT name, a description, the URI, and then a raw image, just so that we know, so we have something, sorry, for the NFT to be downloaded on. And I've set myself up with a bit of an environment. So I've deployed this little test contract for ERC 721 called Strange Cats. It is part of the Strange Cats collection, which is totally not real. It's just made up, I promise. And we'll be minting a 721 token to my test wallet, and we'll be fetching it like that. I've also created a fake NFT, if you want to say that. I've created fake JSON, or just, centralized JSON. It's right here. We can see that right here. It has an ID of 1. It has a name of cat. The description is, the description. Peanut is butter. I want to use this just to show you guys when you deserialize, attributes or metadata for an NFT. It's pretty simple to just deserialize it and use it within your build. And I think that was pretty much it for this. We can now actually go and mint an NFT. So let's go nuts, and we'll go and we'll mint an NFT to my, that's definitely not it, to my test address. Alright, great. So we're going to do my address. The token ID will be 69 because we are gigachads, and the URI will just be the fake URI that I created. Cool. We'll transact that. We'll run the min function, and hopefully that should work. We'll just give it a moment. Perfect. NFTs minted. We can have a look for the owner of token 69. If I run this, sure enough, we see my wallet address right down here. That's perfect. And I just want to ensure that the token URI for 69 is correct as well. And down here, we'll give it a moment. Oh, actually, apologies. It's loaded, but you probably won't be able to see it. My camera would be hiding it. But it is the pause in disguise URL, the one that we see right up here. So that means we're all set to go. So within Unity, I have preset a script because it is quite a big script, and I don't want to take 40 minutes typing it out. It's this one here, but we'll recreate it. We'll actually go and we'll recreate it, right? So we can go fetch NFT. We'll call it fetch NFT data, and we'll actually get rid of this one. We don't need this one anymore, and I'll just make sure to remove it as well. So we can go here. Great, cool. So fetch NFT data. We'll need a few things. First will be TMP, because we like fancy text. We need to use Unity Engine.networking for the web request, and we'll need to use Newtonsoft, because effectively we'll be fetching the JSON and deserializing it to be able to use it. So first things first, we'll need to actually create some references to UI, public text, whoops, oh my goodness, come on. We can call this one here NFT name, and now we can just copy paste that twice over. Description and the URI. Yeah, that's right. Cool. We'll also have to create strings. So public string. call that one 721 URI. We'll call this one public string 721 image URL, because that's kind of a URL we want to use to download the image with. Well, the image, oh man, for the NFT. And then the last would be the public string 721. I don't know, just the name. We might want to know the name. So that's kind of like the initial variable set. Now the slightly more complex part of it would be to create our classes. So we need to create a class for each JSON, I guess, string or object that you'll be downloading. So we can go private class, and we can go NFT data, because that is the initial data. And we'll create private class URI data, because once we fetch the NFT data, we'll get the URI, and then we'll have to deserialize the URI to get the URI data, to get the name, the image URL, and actually download the NFT. So we can go nuts. I just realized that's not straight. My OCD is going nuts, but we'll ignore that for now. And then we can go public string. This can be token ID. It's important that the naming structure here is the same as what you'll find within the actual, I guess, the object that you download. I'll show you in a bit more about that, but just remember that it needs to match the JSON. So get set. Come on, man, stop doing that. And this will be URI get set. Great, cool. So that's kind of set there. That's perfect. And now in here we can do two more. So we can go public string, and this will be the image, because that's the image data type there. So we can go image data. Get set. Great. And then one more will be the, I think it was, because you can do a few things here really. Let me just quickly think about this one. We'll do this. We'll do We'll do description, get set. And I also really wanted to show you guys the whole peanut butter thing. So let's say I want to download an attribute, or it's part of a metadata, you know, like, I don't know, strength, health, rarity, value. In my case, peanut. I want to see what gets returned when we use peanut. Alright, so go nuts. Great, so we've got our two data classes set up. Now, into the slightly more beefy things. We can go nuts. We'll run this on start. I want to just, in this example, show you on start how we can fetch that information. Now, as much as I would love to type all of this out, I am not going to do that. I'm going to grab this. There we go. And I just want to take you guys through this. This is actually part of the documentation, by the way. When you go here into the documentation, it's all right here. All these little bits and bobs here. Now this will probably change. I'm not too sure, maybe, but as far as I'm aware, this should stay the same once the version 2 update comes out. In which case, I'll show you guys how to interact with smart contracts. So subscribe, you don't want to miss that. But moving on with 721 here, I've just basically copied and pasted this bit of information here. We can effectively change what chain we want to be on, or well, what chain we want to check, what network we want to check, and then the account that we want to check. So for instance, I've set this manually for testing, but I could very well do that, and it will fetch the account straight after we connect, which is ideally what you'd want to do in like a production environment. But for now, just considering that we're testing, I will not do that to make it faster. The contract specified here, if you don't specify a contract, it will search every single NFT in the wallet and then bring it into Unity. Otherwise, you can filter through your contracts. For instance, if I wanted to use the Strange Cats contract, I can add that in there, and then I can filter through only that one contract there instead of, you know, I don't know, 100. Who knows? You know, people have a lot of NFTs. So we have a string response here, and then we're pretty much just fetching all the ERC721 tokens within the specified wallet, chain, and network. So what we can do here is, I'll actually show you guys. You can go print, whoops. trend through response, and we can actually run this. I'm just quickly going to wait for this to load. Just use that one, drag that there. I need to do this real quick and name, but look at the debug console. That's where we want to be focusing on right now. See that one right there? That's our NFT that we just minted in Remix. This is the NFT, the token 69 with the pause in disguise JSON, the cats, the strange cats. This is it. That's one token that's been pulled in. Now you can have hundreds, and you can iterate through them with a for loop, but we won't delve too deep into that. I'll just quickly show you guys. We can deserialize it. So using our NFT data class, we can create an array called NFTs, and we can then JSON. Good old whatever that is. Why does it keep doing it? JSON dot deserialize object. The object we want to be deserializing is the NFT data. Well, actually a response, but the kind of formatting for this is a little bit strange sometimes. There we go. So we've effectively deserialized that string on the screen, like right here. We've deserialized the string. So we can now go for each NFT data, oops, NFT in our, oh my goodness, in our NFTs array. We can then debug. So we can say, hey, look, debug.log. We'll say token ID is, and we can reference NFT dot, and you can see up here on the NFT data, we've just deserialized this, so we can use this. We can say, okay, cool, token ID. So now we can fetch, or well, at least, you know, display the token ID. And in a similar fashion, we can do this. We can go token URI is, oops, and we can do URI. Now, it's important here that we need to collect the URI. That's why we've got this one right here. We need this to pass it on to our next function. So you could stop here. You could say, cool, I've done what I've needed to do. I fetched the NFT data, and sure enough, I'll just say this. If I actually just run this again, you should see, let's give it a moment. You should see, there you go, token ID is 69, the token URI is that. Now, it has done it twice. I don't know why the SDK does that, unfortunately, but it could just be something that I've done. But it's done it. Token URI, token ID. It works. Great. Now, we can stop there, but we probably won't want to. We want to keep going. We want to actually fetch more information about this NFT. Otherwise, there's no point, really. So we can then go and we can assign the 721 URI to then be NFT URI. So you'll see that come into play in just a moment. I'll just do this one here. Matter of fact, actually, we won't be using an array. I just wanted to show you guys like how an array would work. We would just do, can I do this? Great, cool. So because we're only doing one NFT here, not multiple, there's no point in using an array. So just bring that back, make it nice and tidy. Great, and now we can actually go and we can invoke our data function. So this is where we can then, well, download the URI. Actually, let me do this. Actually, honestly, my naming schemes is a bit weird sometimes, so we'll just leave that comment as that. And we can just go invoke, and we can invoke, actually let's do this, download URI, and we'll give it about 2 seconds, plus minus. Let's do this, that, cool. So we're done with this one here, and then we can just go public, public void, download URI. Great, and then we can just do a web request. Now we're going to be doing a web request similar to what this one here uses. And again, as much as I would love to type all of this out, I am not too keen on doing all of that stuff. There we go. Great. So I've made a debug log here just saying, look, we are fetching the data now, so it will just be a sanity check to make sure it's okay. And we also want to ensure that, because sometimes these IPFS URIs are formatted in a really strange way, it misses the whole IPFS.io. So we just kind of, sanitize it and make sure that the URL is correct. After which we then, let me just do this. Grab our web request, which I seem to have not included. Interesting. No, I am wrong. I made a mistake. Let's have a look and see why that's still not working. Interesting. Okay, ignore that for now. We'll get back to it in a second. It's probably because of the naming scheme here. I probably didn't include that. I didn't. Even us experienced devs are not always having good days. All right, great. That's because I'm an idiot. Anyway, figured it out. I'm an idiot. We then run a web request, and we use the URI from our token that we fetched before to then download it with a GET request. So we use a GET request, download the data there, and then we actually go and we just do deserialize it one more time. So again, we deserialize the object, the URI data this time though, so we do this one instead of that one there, and we use the URI that we fetched with the initial deserialization to be able to deserialize this next JSON object, which then returns these bits of information. So we're going a little bit deeper this time. And you can see right here that blah, 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 data, there we go. The NFT name is then the data.name. The image URL would be data.image. That's kind of the preset string that we've got here. And peanut. That's actually a very interesting point that I just want to bring up here as well. We don't need to set anything, but I'm just gonna mention peanut butter here, because just coming back to the whole metadata thing, I can actually deserialize that NFT and then fetch the metadata for it. I mean, you can do this in Solidity as well. I know that Sneaks is quite good at that. He loves his I forgot the word. Oh, Sneaks, don't kill me, man. I forgot the word for it. Can't remember, sorry. But you can actually fetch that information and use it in here as well. So what we can do is we can go debug.log, and we can debug.log peanut, which, actually apologies, data.peanut, because peanut is one of the little strings you've got right here, which, going back to the original JSON, and I apologize, my screen is like a solar flare, I am blind. You can see that's an object there. So if you open this side by side, we're effectively going and we're grabbing stuff like the image, the description, the name, and peanut. Name, description, image, peanut. Hopefully it makes sense now. We're just basically running through that JSON and fetching the key value pairs of information there. So going back here, we've effectively now fetched the required information. So if I run this again, we should see a little bit more information here on the side. We'll give it a moment. Nope, apparently I'm an idiot. What did I miss? JSON object, blah, blah, blah. Alright, so I was able to fix it real quick. I was just being an idiot. Seems like you need to use an array here, otherwise it doesn't quite like it. So we just used an array. We created a for each loop here, and pretty much just did what we did initially when checking for NFTs throughout the account. If you need a specific token ID, you can always filter and iterate through it using an if statement, or even a case if you pass it to an integer first. But in this case, because it's one NFT, we don't need to worry about that. So if I actually just run it now, we should be fetching information from both the NFT and the URI, and look at that, we actually are. not only does it tell us that the token ID is 69, the URI is, well, the URI link, but that the NFT name is cat, which ironically it is, and that peanut here should give us back butter. So if we go back to Unity, there you go, even gave it to us twice, but we got peanut butter. So that's how you can fetch the NFT metadata or attributes and stuff like that. So go nuts. There's quite a few things you can do with it. So we'll just drag that down. And now the last step here, after fetching the NFT, deserializing the data, deserializing the URI, would be to potentially download the image. So that's kind of the last step. Oh, that's definitely not the symbols you want. Download the image and apply it as a texture. Great, so we can then go start coroutine, we'll call this one download texture. Actually, sorry. Again, as much as I would love to type all of this stuff out, that would take a very long time. I don't want this video to go on for an extended period of time, so we can create that, and I will just do this. Great, and we can go perfect. So we just do one more coroutine here to actually fetch the NFT, the image, apologies, from the NFT image URL. So after fetching the URL of the source, we then do another web request, we get the image from that web request, and we apply it in game to a canvas or a raw image, or you can even do 3D objects if you really wanted to. So coroutine for the 721 texture. Just a quick debug log here for sanity checks, and I also need to get rid of that one in just a second, but we'll get there in just a moment. We send a web request, we use the image URL that we've gotten right here. Let me actually just add that in here. Apologies, I'm going blind. The 721 image URL has been set here with data.image, and we've been using that URL to fetch the image with. So there you go. So we're checking the web request, and if the case is a success, if it's not a success, apologies, then the download fails. But if it is a success, then we can actually take the current game object that this is applied on, and then change the texture. So let me just see why this is moaning. It's probably because of Unity's UI. Great, there we go. So that should be sorted. And now if I load this again, we should see everything here fill out, but I do want to ensure that we actually use the Text Mesh Pro. So right from the start, just going through one more time, we've got our two data classes here, one for the actual NFT itself and one for the URI. We fetch the NFT using this SDK call right here, and then based on the token ID, I mean, there's a lot you can do here. In this for loop, you can do a lot. You can do verification, authentication, you can search for different NFTs. There's honestly so much you can do. But in this example, we just want to check for the NFT and download the relative information. In this case, we download the token ID and the URI. The token ID is not that useful to us, but it's really just for debugging and sanity checks. The URI, however, is really important. We assign that to a string variable. We then pass that to our download function, and we want to then download that URI, that JSON object, and deserialize it once more right here. And we want to assign the key value pairs to more string variables. In this case, the name and the image URL. Peanut, I actually debugged that twice. Now that explains why there were two butters. We can just say that. The Peanut was just there to show you that, when it comes to creating NFTs and metadata, you can create as many key value pairs as you want and call them, attributes or metadata. You don't necessarily have to follow suit. You can create your own stuff, and you can use them in Unity quite easily as well. So that already opens up so many creative doors, and it'll be pretty cool to see what people come up with in the future. And after that, we just apply, start a coroutine to download the image with a web request from that source and apply it to our game object, which is done here. So web requests do get used quite a bit. And I would recommend getting familiar with them because we'll probably be using them quite a bit with NFTs moving forward. But yeah, let's actually go ahead and just fill out the last bits and bobs here. So if I just go set the, oops, great, we can just do something like is data.name. So we're just saying, hey, look, the NFT name is going to be the name from our JSON file. The URI is up here, I believe. Yep. So we can do NFT URI.text equals NFT. Whoopsie daisy. .URI, and then last but not least, the description. Again, not really necessary, but kind of adds to that whole key value pair thing. Let's do one more here. NFT description.text equals data.description, and fingers crossed, touch wood, that this will work. If I just close that off and we just run it again, we should see in the console here a few things load. Look at that. That's pretty cool, isn't it? We just created a fake NFT with a testnet contract, and we integrated it into Unity. I know that the kind of explanation of it was quite lengthy, but you don't really want to miss or skip information with these sorts of things. It makes it super easy moving forward once you get your hands down on how this works. But yeah, that's pretty cool. We quite literally just ran through that and fetched the NFT. You can even connect marketplaces like the ChainSafe marketplace, which will come at a later stage. But you can use a marketplace to list and buy NFTs as well through Unity. But I really hope that this video was helpful in showing you guys how to fetch NFT data per wallet based on a chain in a network. If you've got questions, leave comments. I'll try to answer them as best I can. And of course, if this was helpful, please like, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.